Welcome to Cardinals Countdown here on this Monday, November 1st. The Arizona Cardinals coming off a 24-21 loss to the Packers last Thursday night. Craig Fouie, Colin Harmon in tonight with you. Thanks for joining us here on ABC 15 Arizona Facebook page. There we are. I got my volume up again. I did it wrong again. I always do that.
Fouie and technology.
I know, right? It's not good. But anyway, we're here. And here to talk Cardinals. The Cardinals on the road this week against the San Francisco 49ers, a team they beat just about 3 weeks ago. I think, Colin, 17-10 was the final in that one?
Yeah, it was an ugly football game. Now that was Trey Lance. Now it's Jimmy G this time.
Yep.
So
quarterbacks.
I guess I'm here instead of coach because coach is still figuring out what happened out of a timeout.
Yes.
Now they're not on the same page.
Do we kick the field goal? Do we go for the win? Let's go for the win. Oh, no, wait. It was an audible, and everybody knew what it was except A.J. Green. Patricia says, yay, team, go. What they mean, a loss, Jonathan. Kalen says, we are one down, but there's still hope. Yeah, I mean, listen, Colin, you said it Thursday night. Nobody expected this team to go 17-0, I don't think.
No. Someone tells me that they know somebody that believed they would go 17-0. I will show you a liar. There's no way with this team anybody thought 17-0 or anywhere close to that. I mean, people were just hoping to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, barring a horrific collapse in the second half of the season, this team's playoff bound. They look great. The excitement's back in the valley. Like, Kyler's a legit MVP candidate. It was one game against Aaron Rodgers and a good team, and if A.J. Green turns around, we're all talking about how the Cardinals are 8-0 for the first time in their long franchise history. You know?
Lionel says, we love the Cardinals since they were the Phoenix Cardinals. Kalen says, Cards to the finish. Listen, I don't think anybody's counting out the Cardinals right now. I think my concern this week is that Kyler Murray has a sprained ankle, right? And so as you head to San Francisco next Sunday for a 2:25 start, if I remember correctly, is it going to be Kyler Murray behind center?
Well, and you think about the San Francisco defenses. I know how banged up they are on a yearly basis now, but still, that's a physical football game. So you're concerned. Obviously, you want to win this game and to go 2-0 against a divisional opponent and continue to separate yourself from the pack. But then there's the flip side where, hey, we still got a lot of football left to play, and if you're not close to 100%, why risk it? We were talking earlier, Fouie. Colt McCoy doesn't scare me.
Right. No, I agree.
I think Kyler will play.
Alan says, no Kyler Murray. He's out 1 to 3 weeks with a sprained ankle. Have you heard anything like that? I haven't heard that yet.
That was Jay Glazer's report on Sunday. Saying it's anywhere, the sprain severity is anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, again, you start to weigh, but Cliff was asked that today. If he's not 100%, do you send him out there? And he's not going to show any of his cards. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll make that decision when we get there.
Yeah, but again, if you have to go with Colt McCoy, the guy's a veteran. He's been around the league a long time. We've seen him at practice, Colin, whether it was training camp or whether it was in the short practice viewing we get to do during the season. He can throw the ball. He can move. I'm not afraid of that, like you just said. We can go in there and see how we do against the 49ers with Colt McCoy behind center.
Honestly, my bigger concern is not having DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
And that's not to discount what Kyler means to this football team, because we know he's the engine that makes this thing go.
Yeah.
But this offense seems to lose its identity anytime DeAndre is not on the field. Whether or not they're spreading the ball to the other receivers, and he's, he doesn't have to be getting his 10 catches for 100 yards because he hasn't done that this season. But we saw it Thursday night. It's like when he wasn't there, they were all out of sorts.
Yeah.
He comes back on the field, and it's all of a sudden they woke up again. Bang, 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 DeAndre Hopkins. So a hamstring, that scares me because that thing nags.
Yes, it does.
The last thing you want right now.
Check out Fix It Guy's comment. This is a good one. Hopefully, because he has a little more time to heal. However, it wouldn't be a bad idea to rest him for the Super Bowl. I like that, right? That's positive. That's thinking
a long
positive.
rest.
Yeah, that'd be a long rest. Wait till February. Alan wants to know, anybody know any news on J.J. Watt? Colin, the only thing I saw is he is scheduled to have surgery this week.
Yeah, and Cliff confirmed that today. He said at this point, he's still scheduled for a surgery.
Yeah.
I know Steve Kimes had said on the radio on Friday that they were maybe hopefully trying to see if there's kind of another route he could go to get him back this season. But Cliff said again today that surgery's still on the table or on the schedule. So, but it's JJ Watt, man. I know he's got to get like basically this whole part of his body replaced yet. He could probably still come back and have an impact.
Interesting move. Ruel says that Rams are getting their defense stronger, obviously with Von Miller going from Denver to the Rams. Anything going on with the Cardinals? Because here's the deal. Tomorrow at 1:00 our time is the NFL trade deadline. I have not heard anything, Colin, in terms of the Cardinals dipping into the trade aspect of things. Have you heard anything?
I know everyone's talking about the idea of Fletcher Cox. I think that'd be a pretty expensive price to pay. I think the biggest thing with this team right now is just trying to get healthy. And I'm not talking about JJ Watt. It's getting Corey Peters back, which he's now activated again.
Right.
Rashard Lawrence hasn't really been healthy yet since getting drafted out of LSU. They're so thin on the D line just because all those guys are nicked up. And that's why their run defense hasn't been great. They don't have a whole lot of bodies there.
And the other thing is Rodney Hudson. I mean, get a center back instead of your third stringer. I mean, Sean Harlow was in there Thursday night against the Packers. That's the third string center. That's a tough one.
Well, and I wonder what they do when Rodney Hudson comes back. Do you slide Max Garcia over to right guard just because Josh Jones has been struggling this much?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Josh Jones has been struggling. I would think you have to do something. You can't be content with the way Josh Jones has been playing at guard right now. So John has an interesting comment. He said, I had a better respect for Hopkins because he went back in on his own. Fair enough. I mean, the biggest thing about that is he's got a hamstring pull, and how much more damage can you do by running on it?
I asked Cliff that post game. I'm like, what was the deal with DeAndre? I know he's got the hamstring thing, but like he's standing there with a hat on and his arms on his shoulder pads like he's done for the night and missing offensive series. And next thing you know, he's out there catching balls, then he's out again, then he's back in for the final play. It was like, it's one thing if maybe it's like a head related thing, but not hamstring. Like you'd think he'd be on the bike or getting stretched out doing something. But I mean, Cliff's like, he's a competitive dude. We didn't want him out there. We want to prolong his season and make sure we don't lose him, even more so. But he just kept running out there on the field, and we can't really stop him. So, we'll see what it looks like going forward.
Fabian wants to know about AJ Green. Does anyone else feel like he thought he was defense? It looked like he was. He looked like he was blocking, Fabian. I mean, it looked like he. And what play do you have at the goal line when you're down late in the game and it's 15 seconds to go? You need 3 points. You're going for a touchdown. What play in AJ's mind is a run play? I'm going to go block.
The biggest thing, you don't have timeouts.
You're right. There's no timeouts left.
There's nothing. You got to throw the ball.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know you wanted to kick it on with 15 seconds. I was totally fine with them having a play. Just make it a quick pass, and it's either, you would think, incompletion at worst, game winner at best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And we still haven't heard anything from AJ. Obviously,
no.
Cliff and Kyler, everyone's playing that close to the vest because no one wants to point fingers in that room.
Yeah.
But head scratching at best.
We second guess everything that goes wrong. And if you said earlier, Colin, when we started, if AJ turns the right way, catches the ball, the Cardinals win, we're not having this conversation. So Daniel says rematch against the 49ers again. Yeah, this is one. It's at San Francisco, and they've got Jimmy Garoppolo back. So you have your starting quarterback back, and they struggled a little bit yesterday, but they ended up winning the game. But if we go in with Colt McCoy, if we go in with without JJ Watt, I mean, I still feel like it's going to be a bloodbath either way.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical football game, and I think it's a chance for the defense to kind of, it's kind of a get right game for them. They weren't happy with how they played. Obviously, they got the critical fourth down stops close to the end zone, but they were not happy with that performance against Green Bay on the ground, especially. And San Francisco, that's what they do. They run the ball. They're not looking for Jimmy G to chuck it 50 times in a game. So it's going to be a battle at the line of scrimmage, and we're going to see what this Cardinals kind of front seven can do.
A lot of comments on the receivers. Let's start with Joshua. He says, we have super talented receivers, and I don't know why after Hopkins went out, our offense struggled with downfield plays. If you remember that the offense kind of struggled for 3/4 of that game, I think. I mean, it was sort of like, let's get to the fourth quarter before we start moving the ball up and down the field and scoring touchdowns. But
well,
they do
outside of that huge play to DeAndre that got the touchdown got called back because of his face mask. They had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked down and there were 9 minutes left in the third quarter and Kyler had 4 completions.
Yeah.
That was it.
I know. It was. John says every week Hopkins has been questionable anyway, so he probably figures he has to win now. You got to get it back on the field quickly. Listen, I think that whole team feels like they have a championship team. I think they feel like this is a team that can go to the playoffs and win in the playoffs. Don't you, Colin?
Totally. Yeah. And every team's going through this injury-wise. It's just who can kind of piece it together from there. And the Cardinals still have a plenty talented roster. We knew J.J. Watt's injury history coming into this, and he's no spring chicken either. So, it's not like they were expecting to get Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt.
Right.
Is that a huge loss? Sure. But, now it's an opportunity for some guys to step up. Rashard Lawrence, the Lecky Fotus, guys like that to make an impact. The rest of the defense is playing well enough right now behind that line. And the offense is the offense. I mean, they're one of the best in the league.
Yep. Sammy says that was a really bad move by the physical team. I think the trainers and the coach allowing D-Hop to go in with an injury. Something happened with J.J. Watt. He went knowing he was hurt, went out, and the coach and physical team allowed him back in the game. But from what we're hearing, nobody allowed DeAndre Hopkins to go back in. He just went in on his own, right?
Yeah, Cliff was not happy after the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know the intricacies of how that works with getting your helmet taken away and, what the trainers have a say and how much of that. But, they were not expecting DeAndre to be back on the field. And all of a sudden he chucked his hat, and there's number 10 running around.
Yep. Vincent says K1 almost pulled a Rodgers on Aaron Rodgers. I'm not worried. I'm not too worried either. Listen, we said it early when we started. Nobody expected this team to go 17-0. So,
well, and you look at all their struggles offensively against Green Bay, when they needed to come up with a huge defensive stop, they did. And then when they had to drive 99 yards, they drove 94. And I thought had a game-winning play. It just, they called it a miscommunication. Bad time for that, but
I know, right?
It is. Like, they did everything right on that drive, perfectly executed, even to the point of not, if you have to kick a field goal, you're not giving Aaron Rodgers any time because he's like Tom Brady when it comes to that. You give him 30 seconds, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, it's true. Alan says we need to stop the run and cut down on penalties. Boy, nothing could be more true, Alan, than that comment right there. You got to stop the run at some point, and that's what they're going to face this week against the 49ers, another physical team, Colin, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. So it's, as much as they struggled to stop the run against the Packers, 5 yards a carry, that's been their average. I mean, that's what this defense has been. They give up the run. It's kind of that whole bend but don't break. They're very stingy when it comes to the red zone and stopping teams there. But yeah, surely you'd like to see them start stopping the run a little bit better than they have been.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. This has been the Cardinals Countdown. We're back next Monday night. Puppet Coach will be back with us next Monday. But Colin, thank you for your input. Thanks everybody for comments, and we appreciate you sharing this if you would, and just continue the conversation here as we continue to count down to Cardinals 49ers on Sunday afternoon in San Francisco.
Cardinals are going 8-1.
I love it.